Okay. Shalom, shalom. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Monday night class on the 18th of January, 2021. We're going to do a moment of silence. Then we're going to do our prayer and read the Psalms and then do some current events. So with that being said, let me read this. Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and your great power and wisdom. We tarry waiting for your powerful deliverance of your people Israel. Oh Lord, you have given us insight into the scriptures of our forefathers. You, O Lord, have directed us to who you are in your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. We come this day doubtless that you will appear and that you will gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. O Lord, you spoke through your prophets, Isaiah, and said that you would help Abraham's seed and that you, O Lord, whom you, O Lord, have scattered. You have completed that promise as of this day. You said, O Lord, that you would remove the darkness from around us. Tarry not, O Lord. The latter days are here, and we are waiting and watching for you, O Lord. Peace be unto you. Okay.
Hallelujah.
So, all right. Let me read the song for you. Okay. I'm going to read Psalm 36.
Okay.
It says, steadfast love of God, the transgressions of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of God before his eyes, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountain. Thy judgments are great and deep. O Lord, thou preservest man and beast. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God. Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasures. For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness to them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and shall not be able to rise. Okay, that was Psalms 36. Okay, so with that being said, we had current events. Anybody got any current events? What's up, Lamar?
Shalom, shalom.
Okay.
The only thing that I have is that there it seems that gun violence and the increase of deaths over the weekend in New York City were in record number, like 43, 44 people. I don't I don't think it was connected to whatever they said they were going to do in terms of bomb rushing all the capitals this weekend, because I haven't heard that actually happened.
No, ain't nothing happened yet.
Right. And I also thought about, them kind of setting us up that would happen. It's a kind of mind control, like um, causing us to be expecting something that doesn't happen. And then when we least expect it, it'll come as, kind of like a surprise for the masses of the people.
Boy, little boy cried wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the tricks. Yeah, so I think they was saying that they expecting Trump to supposed to be going to try to pardon 100 people, uh, try to pardon all those people that got in trouble at the White House in the riots, and and the
Before
guy,
Wednesday?
yeah, mm-hmm. They think he's supposed to be today, but this the guy Lindsey, the senator, said that it's going to be suicide for him if he do that, because everybody already defecting away from him. All the people, his business people, and all them, everybody's pulling away from that Trump brand. So that's just going. He's really going to be. He already through, but he's really going to be through if he do that.
So, Leonard, what is your take on him being silent like he is?
Planning something. They were saying it was somebody on the line was saying the other day, but I heard it again on the news this morning. Was what could possibly be going on that and all this going on in the last 3 days, he had the My Pillow guy come up in his came to see him at the White House with all this going on.
What does that mean? What is the My Pillow guy?
What's up, Tasha? Okay, yeah. So he said, so he said, the My Pillow guy is a conspiracy. He got a conspiracy theory out about, he big on conspiracy theories. So he
Mm-hmm.
up in the White House with he up in the White House with Trump. It don't make no sense. With the 3 days left, this kind of with all that's going on, he got
Mm-hmm.
all, you know, he got all these people, and he got this guy coming up there to see him. Out of all the people he need to be dealing with, he got the coronavirus running rampant, and then yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for him. I still say he gonna try that martial law. I just really believe that.
Right. Yeah,
I
he
mean
got
that.
some playing up. He got some playing. Yeah, that's something else I was looking at yesterday. Was that they said that he was gonna he got they didn't notice that he got a bunch of people, his people planted all over different departments in the White House, like he leaving them their ears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he planting them all. They noticed that he got all these people that he done planted.
Mm-hmm.
So what he doing that for? He got something. He got to have some plan, to be doing that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's crazy right there in itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything? Yeah. Like I was saying before, I read that little notice that the NAACP sent out over the weekend about being vigilant because they got a bunch of white supremacist groups. This is the season for them to do their initiations, and
Mm-hmm.
part of that initiation is having a black male and lynching him, or
Mm.
finding a black male and mutilating him, or whatever. But so told everybody to be vigilant, especially with everything going on with the riots and all that, and all the upheaval that's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
they really feeling a certain type of way right now.
And you have to really watch your back. I mean, like really when you go in places.
Right, right, exactly. So yeah, so like I was saying, anybody got anything else? So I was gonna read from Nehemiah. I'm just gonna do it ain't but 10 chapters. I'm gonna start reading that and try to do a little something on that for a couple of classes. So put that out there. So here we go. So anybody know when you say when you hear Nehemiah, what can I get some feedback on that? What you think about when you hear Nehemiah? What's the first thing come to mind?
Well, well, Nehemiah was a cupbearer for the king, for and also he went back and built the wall.
Right.
Um,
What
he
wall?
went back- the wall in Jerusalem.
Yeah, well, I mean, what wall specifically? Is it more than one wall or just one wall?
Was it rebuilding the second temple around that?
Right, exactly. So when you say wall, we talking about, let's go see, let's go look at it. So we know all these people was they existed around the same time. Daniel, Nehemiah, all of them was in captivity in Babylon. So we in Daniel 9:25. I'm glad you said that. So it says 9:25, Daniel 9:25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks, and the street shall be built again, and the wall. That's the wall right there you're talking about. So,
Mm-hmm.
so Nehemiah way back here building the wall, but they say the Messiah gonna come 500 years later.
Oh, uh-huh.
So you see
Don't make
that?
no sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got a wall right there. So
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying before, every chance I get, I'm trying to expose this because of, it don't add up. Nehemiah building the wall, but ain't no Jesus nowhere around. And then the prophecy is that he came 500 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So we see how crazy that is.
So Leonard, what exactly is the connection between Jesus and the wall? I'm not making that connection with what you are debunking.
9:25, Daniel 9:25.
Uh-huh.
It says, "Know therefore understand that from the going forth of the commandment to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah." We've been told all our life is Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So he don't get on with the time frame. Him coming when he came in 70 AD, but the wall is in the same verse is Nehemiah built.
Okay. When he says build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, what could you say that a different way? I mean, could to so I can.
He's saying unto the Messiah, but the Messiah is only the person that's anointed out of David's lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but they done tricked it off. Got you thinking it's the Messiah, Jesus the Christ, but it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
So
just talking about the Messiah, and the Messiah. You got to whoever this Messiah is on the scene with Nehemiah when Nehemiah built the wall.
okay.
Jesus came 500 years later after all this happened. Nehemiah dead.
Right.
So so we know that ain't the Messiah. We got to find them who the Messiah is that came back and when they rebuilt the temple and when they built the streets up and repaired the wall. And then you couldn't find out it's Zerubbabel.
Zerubbabel. Right.
But it ain't him. It's the 500 years difference in that when if you put Jesus in there, there's a 500 and some year difference, which don't make no sense. All right. Anybody else? Okay. So like I was saying, Nehemiah it was like I was saying before. When you understand what's going on, it was 3 excursions from Babylon. Uh, Zerubbabel and Jeshua came back first. Then Nehemiah came in second, and then Ezra came.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 different. It was 3 different groups that went to Babylon, and then when it was after the 7 year was up, it's 3 different groups came back.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that because once you understand that, you know that what they telling you over here it just ain't adding up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start reading Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2. It says, "The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hilkiah, and it came to pass in the month of Chesleu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan the palace, that Hanai, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah, and asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. So you see right here, this telling you right here is tied to Daniel 9:25. It says, concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. Ain't that what we in?
Yes.
Okay, so ain't nothing new under the sun. So then he go to the wall right here. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. So now we know that Nehemiah and Daniel are them in the same captivity. So they talking about the same. It's not nothing that's, it ain't nothing prophesied way in the future. It's all happening right here simultaneously at the same time. And he says, the wall is also broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. So who did that? Who broke the wall down and burnt the gates up?
That would have been when they took them into captivity.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuzaradan.
Right. So all this stuff happened at the same time. The Chaldeans tore the wall down, and they burnt the temple and burnt burnt the king house and burnt the high priest house and burnt all the men of the nobles, burnt all their houses, and then they went to Babylon. So this is what Nehemiah is coming back. He's telling you right here in Nehemiah. He asking 3 of the men that came from the captivity that was left there. He see 3 of them that came to Babylon. So he asked them, and he told them, the wall of Jerusalem is the people in reproach, and the wall, same wall in Daniel 9:25. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Genesis 4 says, and it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. So what they tell us right there, verse 4, did that ring a bell for anybody?
That when you say he prayed to the God of heaven.
Right. So it says, and it came to pass when I had heard these words. See that? When I heard these words, he got men right now, he raising up, just telling the truth. Some people gonna hear the words, some of them ain't, right? So he says, it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. Well, let's go and look at hold that and go to Ezekiel 9.
Ezekiel 9.
Right. Like I said before, it's nothing new under the sun. Let me get it. Ezekiel chapter 9. So I'm in chapter 9, verse 1. This is one of the places I go all the time to show you the 7 angels. So he says verse 9, verse 1. He cried also in my ear. They in the temple. He cried also in mine ear with a loud voice, saying, cause them to have charge over the city to draw near, every man with his strong weapon in his hand. Right? And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. So we know right here, this is 7 angels that tell us about.
Right.
But look what their job is. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherubim whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn in his hand. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, set a mark upon the forehead of the men that what? Sigh and that cry for all the abominations are born. So ain't that what Nehemiah doing? Verse 4?
Yes.
See? He says, and it came to pass when this is a righteous man that, Israelite, righteous Israelite. He says, it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. So everybody ain't doing that. It's like we see that right now. we see where we at right now. You don't see nobody. You don't see that many people concerned with what's going on with the Most High and with through His Word and what's going on in Jerusalem and all that. They don't care. They don't have that the spirit for that.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you mean when you say when you're teaching someone, if when they hear the truth and their spirit is connected with the Lord of hosts, they can't remain the same.
Right.
They gotta ask questions.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, and that's all you have to do is answer the questions. You ain't got to show them how much you know and all that. Just answer the question that they ask, because what you're dealing with is the spirit that the Most High placed in that person. So they asking questions because they're concerned, and so you answer the questions, and every
Mm-hmm.
time they're gonna catch it because you dealing. That's all the whole conversation is spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So he says, I say, in the Lord, and I said, I beseech thee, O Lord, God of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayers of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel and thy servant. So what we're looking at, he says, Gabriel told Daniel doing the same thing, right? Didn't Daniel pray? And let's look at it. Daniel chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9, verse 1 says, in the first year of Darius, the son of Ahaz, in the season of the Medes and Persians, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of years wherefore the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. And I set my face. See that? He's doing the same thing that Nehemiah did.
Yes.
I set my face unto the Lord God to seek him. See that? Lord God, to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting, sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and I made my confessions and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy to them that love thee. See that? The ones that sigh and mourn, and mourn for Jerusalem, mourn for him. See that? Love him, and to him that keep his commandments. So we're doing the same thing that what Nehemiah doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabriel told when Daniel made that prayer, didn't Gabriel show up?
Yes.
And Gabriel told him, I heard you the first day, but I got held up by the prince of Persia for 21 days, right?
Mm.
So how you connect the dots with that? Verse 6 says, he talking to the Lord of hosts. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes. What eyes? Zechariah 4 and 10 say what? Those seven. They're the eyes of the Lord.
The eyes of the Lord.
So we see what he's saying? He says, let thine ears now be attentive and thine eyes open that thou mayest hear the prayer. Ain't that what Gabriel said?
Mm-hmm.
I heard you the first day you praying.
Right.
And I came. So he asked them, let them these angels let your eyes be open and let them be they watchers and make sure that they hear what I'm saying and then react to it.
Bring it to pass. Mm-hmm.
So he says, which I pray before thee now, day and night. See that? Continuously praying. That's another thing that we haven't connected dots with. They knew what they knew was they continue to pray. When they get down there, they're gonna pray till they get connection.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, I pray before thee day and night. So he's gonna keep on praying. What Gabriel was doing. That's what Daniel was doing. That's why he was there 21 days. So it says, for the children of Israel, thy servant, and confess thy sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept thy commandments, nor thy statutes, nor thy judgments, which thou commanded thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the words that thou commanded thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out to the uttermost parts of the earth of the heavens, yet will I gather them from thence and bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Right? So that's our answer right here on our predicament. He says, uh, Nehemiah 1 and 8. Remember, this Nehemiah talking to the Lord of hosts. Remember, I beseech thee, the words that thou commanded thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you. Right? Ain't we scattered?
Right.
We transgressed. We got scattered. 9. But if ye turn to me, that's why it's so important to understand who it is that you have to turn to.
Yes.
But they everybody waking up, but they're waking up boasting about their Israelites, and that's 101. You gotta go to Hebrews 1:4 because who your God is. So
right.
verse 9 says, but if ye turn unto me, see that? That's the answer. So you turn to me. So now you see what these wicked Edomites did in the New Testament. They gave you somebody else.
Yes.
Turning to the wrong person. So he said, but if you turn unto me and keep my commandments, see that? Who gave him the commandments? Lord of hosts.
Lord of hosts.
If you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out. That's where we at. All we need to do is turn to him. Find out who he is and turn to him. Say, you can cast out into the uttermost parts of heaven. Yet will I gather you. So as soon as you find out who he is and turn to him, he says, yet will I gather them from thence and will bring them into the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now, these are the servants and the people whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thine ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servants who desire to fear thy name and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was a king's cupbearer. So this prayer right here is Nehemiah praying before he go before the king, because he wanna inquire the king to give him a permission to go to Jerusalem, because he didn't talk to these other three men, and he see that the remnant that's left in Jerusalem is in great reproach. So now he gonna pray. He praying first. First of all, he mourned. He was in trouble. He was troubled by what was going on in Jerusalem, and he prayed to our Redeemer for that he imposed on the king a good spirit. So any comments on what I read in verse 1, chapter 1?
I have a question.
Okay.
You see where it says, be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servants.
Right.
Can you identify the servant is Nehemiah, and who are the servants?
The Israelites. That's another example of the suffering servant. That's how you know what the servant is.
Okay.
Right. Anybody else got anything? So everybody overstand. Okay, so I'm in chapter 2. So Nehemiah just prayed to the Lord of hosts to change the heart of the king. So
Oh,
it says,
Leonard, I'm sorry. One more thing. When you was back in Daniel for the first time tonight, I realized that the angel that was held up by the prince of Persia was not Michael, it was Gabriel. But
right.
Okay, so my question is there a difference in the power of Michael and the power of Gabriel? Because I'm trying to figure out if Gabriel is an archangel.
Yeah, he's one of the seven.
He's one of the seven. So how can any other angel hold him up?
Because they over, when you hear them, and Enoch tells you about, you got angels that's over, you got angels that's over tens, angels that's over 5, angels that's over 100. you know, so they did the next lower, you know, next level down.
Okay, like
So
ranks.
they next level down under these archangels.
Okay.
So it's like you know, Buster Douglas fighting with Mike Tyson. He can hang for a couple of rounds.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Eventually, the might and the power that the Most High gave these archangels gonna prevail.
Okay.
Right. And then they got other angels with them. They over other angels. They all helping, assisting him when you know Gabriel comes up. When
Okay.
Gabriel, right. So right, this just for some, this just for you know, GP for people to know. So I'm in Daniel 8. Hold that where I was at, Nehemiah chapter 2. But I'm in Daniel 8, verse 15. You got Daniel 8.
Daniel 8 and 15.
Right. Okay, so Daniel had a dream about the ram and the he goat. And so here come Gabriel coming to give him interpretation of what he just dreamed. So many people look over this. It came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as appearance of a man. That's Gabriel. Now watch 16. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said to Gabriel, make this man understand. So it's another angel there commanding Gabriel. He just told Gabriel, go and make Daniel understand. So it ain't Yahweh. So where Gabriel rank at according to the 7? He's second.
Second in command after Michael.
So who's commanding Gabriel?
Michael.
Right. So go to chapter 12 with Daniel. Chapter 12 with Daniel. You got it?
Yeah.
So say, I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood the other 2. So 3 of them there, just like in Genesis 18, 3 of them there. It says, and one on one side of the bank, one on one side of the river, and the other on the other side of the bank of the river. So we know Gabriel on one side, and then there's another angel on the other side, 7. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters, right? I heard him clothed with linen, which is he standing on the water. There's an angel on one bank of the river, another one on the other bank. He in the middle of the river, standing on the river.
Right.
And he said, I heard the man clothed with linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever and ever, that it would be for a time and a half a time, when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. So that's the same. You're looking at the same setup, same scenario over here in Daniel chapter 8. There's an angel on one bank and Michael on the water. There's an angel on the other bank. And so when we go back to chapter 8, verse 15.
Of Daniel?
Yeah. Okay. That's the same setup that's over here in Daniel 12 is right here. So it says, and it came to pass when I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, and behold, there stood before me as appearance of a man, right? So where Daniel at? Look at chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which had appeared unto me at first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan. He even tell you where he at. Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river. Uliah. See that? On the bank, on the side with Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm showing you this for a reason. So then you go back to 8 and 15. And he tell
8
you,
and 15. Got it.
so then he says he had a vision right there. And then now he's trouble. And Gabriel already standing there. So he says, and it came to pass, and I had seen the vision by the river on the side on the bank, sought for the
Mm-hmm.
then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. Gabriel standing there, right? It says, and I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uli. Ain't that where the Lord of hosts was at in Daniel 12?
Right.
Standing on the water. And he called to Gabriel on the bank, right there where Daniel is. And he said,
Mm-hmm.
tell Gabriel, make this man understand.
Right.
See how it's all working? Now
Yeah.
I just read it over there when I was in Psalms. He said, Nehemiah prayed for the eyes of the Lord to be upon him, right?
Right.
Ain't that the eyes of the Lord?
Eyes of the Lord. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so now I'm in chapter 2 of Nehemiah, and,
Right.
and and Nehemiah just prayed for the Lord of hosts to change the countenance of Aorus to give him a good report. So he says, and it came to pass in the month of Nisan in the 20th year of Artaxerxes, the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very so afraid. And I said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city and the place of my father's sepulchres lie waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what doest thou make request? So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldst send me unto Judah and unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, say, then you got in parentheses, the king also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be, and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and let me and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors, kings. I keep showing you that kings. When you see governors, king, governor, the kings beyond the river, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. So my question is, did the Most High answer his prayer?
Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah, he answered the prayer. He prayed over here. So, like I said before, you see how important it is to know who it is you're praying to.
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you see all in here, when they ain't been hoodwinked like we is. They know exactly who he is. So when they go and pray to him with a sincere heart and understanding who he is, then they prayers get answered.
Right.
They get to understand it. Joseph, when the Pharaoh told him the dream, Joseph went out and prayed to the Lord of hosts. He know his name and all that. And then he told him what to go back and tell the king.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that something? So
Yes.
what let me see something else I was reading. So he says in verse 2, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then was I so afraid, and I said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why not my countenance be sad when the city of my father's sepulchres lie waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? So why is he concerned about the sepulchre?
Because the bones of his people, huh?
What is a sepulchre?
It's a grave.
Right. So why is he so concerned about his father's sepulchre?
Because he want to make sure nobody don't mess with those bones that's gonna get resurrected.
Right. It's because they all of them knew they was gonna get resurrected. That's why. So that's why he concerned about their sepulchres. It's the same thing with Joseph. Joseph told them, the Lord of hosts is coming and deliver you out of Egypt. When he do, take my bones with you to Jerusalem. That's where he dwelled at. And so they already knew that he was going to resurrect them. Ezekiel, he knew that. All of them knew that, but our understanding been skewed because of the New Testament. But they all of them knew they was going to get resurrected. They ain't need nobody hiding in no bush nowhere to come out and nothing. They already knew that. So another thing I wanted to shine light
Right.
on, I want to shine on a light that verse 4 said, then the king said unto me, for what doest thou make request? So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, look at this, if it please the
Where are
king,
you?
and verse 5,
Okay.
Nehemiah chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if the servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou would have sent me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. So verse 5 says, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, right? So
Uh-huh.
who do Nehemiah belong to?
Nehemiah belonged to the Lord of hosts.
Right, but right here he in Babylon, and he just told the king that he's king's servant. And if it,
Mm.
you know, he got to do what the king say, right?
Yeah.
So he ain't up there hollering to the king, hollering about you don't know what you talking about. I ain't know you ain't none of my over me. You ain't
Right.
doing. See what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's thinking like a Hebrew. So we
Mm.
already understood we've been put over here. These Gentiles and all them, they over us.
Right.
So how you over there doing the most when that's where he got you at. He told them you going to Babylon for 70 years, serve the king, serve Nebuchadnezzar, serve his son and his grandson, build houses, build vineyards, marry, have children. You're gonna be there for 70 years. You subject to Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
So
Right.
right now, like I said, why you got people that's doing the most when that's no concern for of an Israelite. You ain't got no concern for all the stuff that they worried about. You ain't got no concern for it because when you understand what's going on, especially
Mm-hmm.
especially now when you in a place where the Most High is feeding you, and you getting the understanding. And so what you concerned about?
All right, come on now. Hallelujah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so 7 says, 6, and the king said unto me, the queen also sitteth by him. Now, it says, for how long shall the journey be, and when will I return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let us be given to me to the governors beyond the rivers, that they may convey me over till I come into Judah. And a letter unto Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace, which appertain to the house, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall enter into. And the king granted according to the good hand of my God upon me. See that? So
Mm-hmm.
once I with him on that, on all of them, because like I said, how he work, who he is, his name. Uh, so there go the wall again. Like I was, just want to shine a light on that. So you always got things,
Yes.
huh? So it says for the wall of the city. There go the wall again. Now 9 says, then I came to the kings beyond the river and gave them the king's letter. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sambach the Horite and Tobiah, I'm pronouncing his name right, the servant, the Ammonites heard it, and it grieved them exceedingly that there would come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So, did anybody get anything out of that? Hello? Hello?
We're here.
Okay, yeah, ain't get no response. I ain't know what happened. So we seen right here that this guy, I don't know if anybody been paying attention to this back in the day when they was in church or whatever, but 10 says, man, Sandblight, you got to remember that name because that guy right there doing the most. And doing the time with Jeremiah and them, I mean, when Nehemiah and them came back, and especially when Joshua and Jeshua came back, he the one that was trying to prevent them from they wanted to come up and build a wall, help him build a wall. He told them, you can't help us build a wall because you don't have nothing to do with it. So what did that tell us? Herod. They got us thinking that the temple that Herod built is got to do something with Yahweh. That's the temple Jesus came to. But Nehemiah telling them right here, you ain't got you might not have nothing to do with building the temple. And you know, I've heard people on other lines say all it takes is one Israelite to put their hand on one brick and that make it a Hebrew temple. That's crazy. That's crazy. So you hear me? So he says, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So these people just doing just the opposite. The Most High looking for men that sigh and mourn for Jerusalem. And these wicked people right here, they looking to kill the man that come.
Right, it's grief.
Right.
They want to cause grief.
Right.
Okay.
And so look at today. What they keep telling you about the rise of the Messiah, the Black Messiah, the whole NSA and all this top security that they have over in America is for that same reason. That's what the surveillance about. All the technology they come up with is they watching us. And soon as a brother stick his head out talking like he got any kind of sense, he come up missing. And that's how you know the ones that Yah sent and the ones that they sent. If they send him, he gonna talk 1,000 years. Nobody gonna never do nothing to him.
Right.
He gonna get pot gut and fat and die. He gonna at 80 or 90 years old. Cause that means y'all ain't sent him. Cause if y'all sent him, they gonna kill him. And just something. So I came to Jerusalem. This verse 11. So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days, and I arose in the night, and I and some few men with me, neither told I any man what God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem, neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. And I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon gate well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem. They go to walls again. The walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. Then I went on to the gate of the fountain and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under my path. It was under me to pass. Then went I up in the night by the brook and viewed the wall, right, and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest of that did the work. Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lies waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall. They go to the wall right here. So we see Daniel 9:25 playing out right here. He says, come, let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me, as also the king's word that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hand for this good work. But when Samblock, there go the guy again, the Horite, and Tobias the servant, and the Ammonite, and Geshon the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I to them and said unto them, the God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore, we his servants will arise and build, but ye are no, this is what I was just telling you. Look what he tells us, these are Edomites. But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. So that should answer your question when you get over New Testament about Herod's temple. So somewhere down somewhere in between the time when Jesus came from heaven and came to earth, their wires got twisted because no, Edomite can't build no temple to Yah. So he went up in Herod's temple and said that he's in his father's house. But Herod can't build no Edomite can't build no temple. They just Nehemiah and them just conveyed that to us right here in verse 20. Let me read it again. Then answered I to them, it's Nehemiah, and I said unto them, the God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we, his servants, they ain't only his servants, will arise and build. But ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. So that verse right in itself killed the New Testament, because the whole New Testament surrounded Herod's temple. So we see it's garbage. Any comments?
Leonard, I have one question in 2 and 13,
Right.
where it says, and I went out by night by the gate of the valley.
Okay.
Can you explain a little bit about the gate of the valley? Is that a certain place or a certain special meaning?
Read that. What verse is that?
2 and 13.
Okay. It says, and I went out by the night by the gate of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and I viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire. So this is like the outer portion of the wall where they get rid of the waste and and when they working inside the temple, all that where they have a runoff from when they killing those animals. They can't deal with the blood, so they have to rinse all that blood off. So they have to have a place where that's the dung port, what they call it right here, where all the waste come out in. And it's all in a certain area.
Okay.
And to get a better understanding of that wall, it's just like in a neighborhood, and that it's like an enclosed neighborhood. You have got like a neighborhood watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So certain people, certain areas they got to watch over. So on that wall, whatever portion of the wall where your land is, you're responsible for that portion of the wall to maintain it.
Okay.
So you go all the way around that wall, and different families and different tribes from one generation to the next are responsible for a certain part of the wall.
Okay.
Right. And so that's why Nehemiah is so concerned about it.
Okay.
You got other Israelites that, they portion of it, they're concerned about it. And not only that, they're concerned about their forefathers' sepulchres.
Right.
Maintaining them. You got to maintain the wall and maintain their sepulchres.
Right. Okay. I understand. Okay.
Okay. Anybody
Question.
else? Okay.
So Leonard, when we talk about the resurrection of the Hebrews in Ezekiel 37, that does not apply to the dead among us, right? The resurrection in Ezekiel 37 is dealing with our forefathers, our right?
Yeah, well, if you gotta look at it like this, everybody that's dead, they forefathers, ain't they? When they die, once they die, they forefathers.
So that applies to our family members and
But if
they Hebrew Israelites.
they Israelites, yeah. But
Oh,
let's
okay.
look at Daniel chapter 12. I'll tell you right there. You in Daniel 12?
Daniel chapter 12, yes.
It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time, that's the time when the shaking, the great shaking. It says, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. See that? So he told Jeremiah, I knew you before you was in your mother's womb, right?
Exactly.
Right. So he told Ezekiel, let me see what that was. Yeah, he said obviously he told Joseph that what was going on with him, because he told Joseph told him to bring my bones with you and take them to Jerusalem. So
Right.
evidently he already knew. And then he told uh, Abraham and Sarah, this time next year, I'm gonna come back according to the cycle of life, which is 9 months. She had a baby in her womb. And he said, call him Isaac. He already knew before he was even born what the name was gonna be, because he looking on the book. He looking on the book that's in heaven. The whole so
Right.
you said, what you talking about? Well, he just said right here, uh, at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's the book of life. So that's all the way up to now. So the answer comes in verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Then some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting contempt. That's everybody. That's all Israelites. He said, this the whole house of Israel, right?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And then he also, another thing what people don't they looking over. He said when he come back, he's gonna gather them from the utmost parts of the sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? And can nobody live in the ocean, can they?
Well,
Can
I think he's going to resurrect. He's talking about resurrecting them, right?
who is these people that he got to resurrect out of the sea?
The Israelites that came across for the transatlantic.
Exactly, right. That's what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he says, right, that tell you right there, he's all of them.
Okay.
But some of them the everlasting shame and contempt, and some to to everlasting life, and some everlasting shame and contempt.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
say, what are you talking about? 2 baskets of figs.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Those 2 baskets of figs showing up everywhere.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Okay, so that was Nehemiah chapter 2. I'm gonna read 3, and then I'm gonna open up for some Q&A before we go. Chapter 3 says that we still, I'm harping on this wall so you can get there. When you're trying to explain to somebody else, you know how to know where to go. It says, then Elishabeth, the high priest, rose up with his brother and the priest, and they builded the sheep gate. They sanctified it and set up the doors of it, even unto the tower of Mia. They sanctified it unto the tower of Hananel, and next unto him builded the men of Jericho, and next unto the builders. See, this is what I was telling about right here earlier. See, he's naming all the people that's, and they portion of the wall they're responsible for. That's what all these names for. See how he going? He says, but the fish gate did the sons of, see these sons right here, they're responsible for that area right there. Keep on going down. Next under them, repaired it. Just keep going. So they listing all of them. I ain't gonna read that.
Right.
So that's all that whole chapter, chapter 3 is listing everybody in the portion of the wall they're responsible for, and the family that's responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So and I'm not going to read 4, but chapter 4 says Nehemiah opposed and ridiculed. It says, but it came to pass that when Sandblatt Valley, that's the same guy. I told you, he's doing the most. He all over the place. Heard that we builded the wall. See that? Heard that he built the wall. He was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews. And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria and said, what do these feebles use? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sanctify? Will they make an end in a day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobal the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. So the point I want to shine light on was that the reason I read it was, Is that not what they're doing to us now? Ain't they doing the same thing to us?
Right, exactly.
They think we nutcase, believing that the Most High coming back and taking us and gonna gather us from here. You got majority of the Hebrew Israelites don't even know they're Hebrew Israelites, and they saying the same thing. Like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. They doing the same thing now. They ridiculing us. They think we told. You know, this just something that we these black folks concocted because they've been abused for 400 years. They got they delusional. So we see it's nothing new under the sun. They did the same thing right here. When they was in Egypt, the Egyptians ridiculed them. But all the ridicule stopped when the Lord host showed up. He shut it down. Okay. Ain't there something? Okay. So with that, somebody got something?
No, I was just saying, yes, it is.
Right. So what we're gonna do right here, we at an hour mark. We're gonna open it up for some Q&A. If anybody got any questions, they want to talk about it. Anybody got anything they want questions or something they've been? I'm hoping everybody reading. So anybody got any questions about something they read that they want some clarity on? Anybody got any questions? No? Nobody have any questions?
I'm good.
Okay. So nobody have no more questions. Let me play this little line a little bit, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, I was gonna just let everybody know I got my niece on here, Tasha. She out of Atlanta. So
yes, welcome, Tasha. Welcome.
we've been dialoguing for a while. I've been talking to her for a while too. So hopefully some roots and took root. Yeah. So let me hit you with this line, and then we're gonna let me say shalom. Okay. Shalom, everybody. I'm gonna see y'all on Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Tasha say, baby tree.
Say what?
Baby tree. You were saying that you hope that she has been, learning something.
Okay,
yeah, so she said baby tree.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad you showed up. So yeah. So I'm gonna see everybody on Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Shalom, everyone. Have a good evening.
Shalom.
Shalom.